I threw it up top, so you got go check it out. Go sub to my guy,
Should I
Space
read
Artist.
the comments from the Toxic Globe Earthers or no?
Oh, do they got some comments? Go ahead, read a few of them.
Yeah, go ahead, send them.
This has been quickly debunked as there has never been confirmation that the speed of light is not a constant. And someone else was saying something about GPS proving a stationary Earth. Either you're not a flat earther or you don't understand how GPS works. And he can't find a single flurf to explain spherical access. So he's just been on the roll. It's crazy because we invited him in here.
Spherical access. No worries, my dude. So the Arc of the Parallel document on Tune's website, if you go to tune.com/se or whatever I think it is, spherical access, you can read this great 900-page document called in regards to how they measure, the so-called Arc of the Parallel, proving the curvature of the Earth. So what this, if you Control F on that PDF and search refraction, for example, to start off with, you'll see how they already have predetermined calculations and everything to reference off of, and then they use what's called lateral refraction. So if you remember back to the FE core experiment where they were measuring, the curvature of the Earth with a laser, they said, or the big globe critiques were that you can't use lateral refraction, meaning you can't assume that the conditions are the same uniformly between the distance of you and what you're taking the observation at. So, they use, that's the whole thing is that explicitly. And then on top of that, which it gets worse, that's just the baby steps, dog. So it gets worse. So if you look at the, what is it called? Forget the thing. It's between pages 37 and 42 where it goes through how they come up with the mean averages for everything. So they have what's called a weighting system. So when they get measurements that exceed their limits, they count them less. So it's like pre-cooked into the data. Like, so they say like, these are raw observations. But they are raw observations, but they don't mean the same amount as to falsify everything, right? So they have a system set up already to uniformly correct everything to fit spherical excess as the model. It's complete and utter reification fallacy. And if you want to see in great detail on that, I got you a link where my boy Shane St. Pierre talks to a geodetic survey in great detail on this, points it out, goes through the document, shows the equations behind them and all that stuff. Everything that I'm referencing about how the weighting system works and all that, the refraction, everything that they pre-assumed for the two models that they were comparing to, because it wasn't just the GW8 or 80 ellipsoid that they landed on. They had another model that they were also comparing it to. So they already had a predetermined amount that they were trying to conform it to. It's a complete nothing. And then when you say, so check this out too, this is just for funsies as well. So for spherical excess, in my mind, I always thought that this was like a large number, that this was like very significant. Like, wow, it exceeds 180 degrees. That's nuts. What does that mean? And was it like 185, 190? Guys, it's 180.00000000000000000 fractions of an arc second. It's, dude, the difference between a glob, or I'm sorry, the difference between a giant glob rotating in space and a plane is fractions of an arc second based on lateral refraction. I'm good on that, homie. What was the next question about GPS? We can run down that one real quick. So GPS is based off of coordinate system transformations as its time interval system, right? So you could take measurements off of a stationary system and then wrap it onto a globe, no problem there, especially if they've got people already accepting secondary corrections to what should be first order measurements using the time interval system with what should be a fixed speed of light. So so there's that. And then what was the other one? There was a couple other ones. Coordinate systems. I don't know, man. What's up?
It was the first one was about the speed of light not being a constant, has never been proved, which it has. You take a look at the nest. I'm sure, Alan, if you ever heard of Runzi Howe, he talks about how time dilation due to the speed of light is self-contradictory, which means the speed of light cannot be a constant in all reference frames. It has a link to my Vimeo page. It has a couple of other stuff too, if you're interested. Well, shout out to you. I also wanted to say, man, I hope you're a regular around here. Rarely do I get stuff that gives me chills. So I love the relativity stuff. And I really hope you join the level heads and be a regular, man.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely coming back. This place is awesome. And then so in regards to the speed of light, right? So this is all based on covariance with Maxwell's equations for how Einstein, quote unquote, set the speed limit, right? So they may not be, quote unquote, experimentally proven, but in the regards that they are basing everything off of is that it has a covariant relationship, meaning that Einstein's field equations will reduce back to Einstein or Maxwell's description of a vacuum, the permittivity and permeability of a vacuum, where the speed of light is, basically 300 million meters a second squared or whatever. So that's where that comes from for relativity. That's why that's their jumping off point, because that's why they assume that space is a vacuum, and then they go from there, right?
You were definitely on a roll tonight, man. That was awesome. I definitely hope you got some great clips for YouTube. Again, shout out to the YouTube community. We're not quite there yet, but we already touching them through the ether, so that's wonderful.